What's up, everyone? It's your boy Scott, and welcome back to the Scott Report. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. And not only welcome back to the Scott Report, but welcome back Gundam. Man, Mobile Suit Gundam, the Witch from Mercury Prologue, not episode 1, but a full-fledged 24-minute episode prologue. A nice introduction to the series, and this is the first entry in the mainline Gundam series in 7 years. Can you believe it's really been that long? 7 years, guys. Last time we had a true Gundam series was Iron-Blooded Orphans back in 2015. I mean, seriously. Now, granted, we did have Hathaway's Flash, which was a movie, but that was a movie. That wasn't a series, and Build Fighters isn't mainline Gundam. This is a straight up full-fledged Gundam series that's going to be weekly starting in the fall. It's probably going to be 50 episodes split into 2 core, maybe split core. That's how it normally is. At least I know it was with, IBO and the like. But either way, we're back full-fledged with a Gundam series, and I felt like this would be a fitting time to return. But that's neither here nor there. We're here to talk about Gundam and Gundam being back, and more importantly, we're here to talk about the Witch from Mercury. So diving right in, we find out that our main character, Eri, at the young age of 4 no less, and her mother was a pilot before her. So the prologue starts us off deep into the backstory by showing us basically our main character who we're going to be following as a kid, and giving us a little bit of significance of maybe what her mission is going to be, what her goal is going to be, and most importantly, a look at some of the suits that we're going to see in the future and why they're going to end up being important. But mostly what we find is that her mother was testing out our current concept for the Mobile Suit series with Witch of Mercury, which is called the gun format. Now, we've seen this before in IBO, where a unit is connected to the nerves, having a pilot jack in, so to speak, and enhance their movement and literally be in sync with the machine. But this time is literally connected to the nerves. It was kind of shocking to see, body connection like this in Gundam, or maybe body harm, possibly seeing body dismemberment and how it's going to link. When you're dealing with Gundam, I know this is more of an Ava type of thing and things we would see in that. And again, it's not anything we haven't seen before. We've seen this in IBO, but this one's a little bit different, especially with the nature of how the gun format is going to work in this series. Like, for example, if you lose your arm in combat, your arm is just gone. And one of the things that the prologue tried to drive home is the toll that this project takes on the human body, and also how it affects other people. Because naturally there's 2 sides. There's people who are for the gun project, and there's people who are against it. And it's the side that hurts the most are the families of the people who have to deal with, their family members. Those people who gave their bodies and put their lives on the line to go into war or go into experimentation to make sure that this project gets off the ground. I mean, naturally it wouldn't be Gundam without politics, and it's people out here who are risking their lives to make sure that this project works. The gun project was initially used as an aid for people to use robotics in space to travel and for their everyday living. It was used for prosthetics, as we see with Eri's mother, for example, but it also caused so much strain on the mind and body that, the last thing that you will want to do is this type of thing to fall into the wrong hands. Because when you have something like this that can become a powerful tool, what do the government always want to do, or some type of entity want to do with that? They want to make it a weapon, of course, because, war, and, war also leads to money. So that's always going to be in the backdrop. Again, they're not shying away from that here in Gundam, because in the end, that's the root of all war. But, they always also want to try to dress it up and make it as a disguise, as if it's a way to make peace. And that's kind of what we're seeing stewing in the background in this prologue. Even though, again, it's just 24 minutes. It's an introduction into the series, but I feel like we got a lot to unpack with that as well. Just rooting in and putting in place what we're going to deal with in this world and what we're going to see and what's going to be in the background, kind of the risk that's in place. And calling back to the Gundam War, there will be a battle between the inhabitants of Earth and the inhabitants of space, both with their own ideals that will take place in this series and their reasons and their gray areas for why they're doing what they do. It's going to be sides that you're going to agree with and because it's war and because it's Gundam, again, things that Gundam has never shied away against. And me personally, that's always been a shining point of the series, and something that I've always enjoyed about Gundam is seeing both sides of the war. Is not really a definitive bad guy, because it's going to depend on how you look at things. So getting over to the main suit that was highlighted in the prologue, which is, and I know you guys are going to butcher me if I butcher his name, so feel free to correct me if I'm pronouncing this wrong, because it's going to be a doozy. But the Lefrith, I believe the suit is called, is also a secondary Gundam in the series as Eri. We know Eri is going to pilot the Aerial once that series starts, and I cannot wait to get that kit. I'm trying not to get off center, but I'm just so excited to have Gundam back. But anyway, I like that they are already building a dynamic that we will see between why these suits are significant so early on, with it having ties to the past to the main character. The political strife sets in early, as well as Eri's parents and others need for this project to work for their own well-being. And even though it's brief, you kind of see the strife of them just feeling like this has to work or our future depends on it. We're going to have to go back to doing whatever we do. And it looks like our main mobile suits are going to be called witches as well. So that explains the title. And I, for one, cannot wait to see the other suits in action. But again, it's focusing on more of the strife that the people are going to go through. I mean, we didn't really get too much into it yet, but it seems like the side that is doing the gun project needs for this to work so humanity can go into space. And a common happy birthday party for Eri is cut short when members of that opposing side of the people that's doing the gun project, I believe their name was Ox Earth, they were attacked by the inhabitants of space, and correct me if I'm wrong about this, but the facility is stormed and they need this project to end by killing everyone there by any means necessary, because the agenda is being pushed that if this project goes out, it's going to cause more war, more people are going to get hurt, and the only way to end it is to shut it down completely. Even though I don't exactly trust this, I think is of course going to be more along in the back, because the people that are pushing this are probably going to be using this as well, and then they're just going to be like, well, we need to fight back because they're using it. I think overall that's going to be the main point of the battle that we're going to get here. And needless to say, I have a lot of positive things to say about this prologue, but I guess I can just point out probably the only thing that I had a negative for, and it's not really a negative, it just kind of took me out of the element a little bit, and that was, we're no strangers to children being prodigies in mech series. Come on, we know that. But Eri being the chosen one to crack the biological code needed to pilot the suit to perfection at the age of 4 just by sitting in it honestly was a little bit goofy, and I know it's going to be a lot more to it. But even to the point where she got some bodies when she got into the suit and had to get in there and fight, and she took out like 4 or 5 suits. I think it was 4. And then she was just like, boom, mommy, look, it's birthday candles, yay. I don't know, it just kind of took me out of everything because it was like very serious, and then this occurs, and maybe it's going to be a little lighthearted things like that as it go along. And then at the same time, there's also things that, you know, I kind of had feelings with the sacrifice of Eri's father, for example. You know, her mother, we found out her name is Elnora. It kind of hit me hard to see her father sacrifice himself, even though we only had precious minutes with him. But this series did a good job of making you still feel a little bit of that weight, because as he sacrificed himself, he was singing happy birthday to Eri. And, you know, that part was a little bit sad. And this is probably just the start of the body count, because, you know, when it comes to Gundam, no one is ever safe, and the body count is going to be up there. I mean, I trust the process, and I'll let that ride because I know the rest is going to be amazing, and the rest of this episode was amazing. And with humanity, you know, the want and need to go into space, it kind of reminds me a lot of Zeta Gundam, and that's my all-time favorite series out of the entire Gundam franchise. And I see a lot of potential for this series to tap into that same feeling that both Zeta and IBO gave me. So I was expecting that, and it looks like it's probably going to give me that. So I'm just super excited to get this series started. I cannot wait to dive into it. And the prologue, if the prologue was supposed to set the tone for what you're expecting for this series, it gave me goosebumps. I'm not gonna lie. And I don't even need to get into animation or music because it's Sunrise. They always put their best foot forward with Gundam, and I have nothing but praise for that as well. I don't know. I'm in. I'm locked in. I mean, I was going to be in already, but I was really impressed with this prologue and what it gave me already. It literally gave me goosebumps. Gundam Sunday will return and it can't come soon enough. So yeah, needless to say that I really enjoyed this episode. I'm glad that we got to see it soon. We got to see it soon. I mean, we got it a little bit after it premiered. I mean, it came out in Japan a while ago, and then we got the official English translated version of it over Comic-Con in July. So here we are, basically September, and we get it translated on Gundam.info, where you can go watch this, by the way, legally if you're looking for it. And of course, I'm pretty sure it's going to be on Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll will pick up Gundam, especially, you know, with them having the franchise now. You know, you can watch the original Gundam as well as Zeta between Funimation and Crunchyroll, which are one and the same now. So IBO is on Crunchyroll. I have no doubt there's going to be a type of thing where Gundam is going to be on something that we can't watch it. So we just have to wait till then. So until then, I might have to watch this prologue maybe 2 or 3 more times just because I enjoyed it that much. And also, I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here, guys. I just wanted to drop in, give my thoughts on the prologue, start getting the hype going because content will return with this series. And it just feels good to be back. So I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here, guys. Definitely let me know what you thought of Mobile Suit Gundam, the Witch from Mercury prologue. Let me know what you thought about this in the comments below if you watched it. If you haven't watched it, check it out. Come back and tell me, or just tell me some of your expectations. What are you guys planning to see? There were actually 2 main suits, but again, I'm going to butcher the name, so I'm just going to wait until the suit comes out. I know we got the Lefrith, and I believe the other suit that the enemy was, or the opposing side was piloting. So we'll get into that. I'm pretty sure there's meanings behind these names and things that I just cannot wait to dive into once we start getting things official. Gundam's back. Scott Report will be back, and it just feels good. I cannot stress that enough because I miss doing this. So without further ado, if you guys liked the video, go ahead and drop it a like. And if you want to hear more, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And also be sure to go ahead and hit that bell so when I do drop a video, you will be notified. And I'll catch you guys next time. So until then, it's your boy Scott signing out. See you soon.